All right, let's talk about animations. What's the point of the animation? To provide some sort of fly-through for the client, right? So we've been talking about these 2D images this whole time, but the videos, or the movies as Lumion calls them, is a great way for your client to have something a little bit more immersive. So let's talk about how to actually do that. So you've got a couple different ways to actually create a movie in Lumion. Generally, I use record right here. So I'm gonna click this. And what it's going to do, it's going to look really similar to photo mode, right? We've got all the same settings, right? Our focal length, our heading, pitch, and everything, aspect ratio. But the only difference is we've got keyframes. So let's say I want to do a cool shot where I'm zooming in on the kitchen from here, right? So let me set up my focal length. Again, you guys know I like it around 25, okay? And I want to set up, my aspect ratio and everything to be correct. This is the first step. Then I'm going to hit add camera keyframe. So I've done that. Nothing's going to look different. We're not going to see a difference until we actually move our camera. So I'm using the scroll wheel to just zoom in a bit, and I'm going to hit add camera keyframe. So what you may have seen is now we have two different thumbnails. Okay, what does that mean? When I hit play, it's interpolating between the two different points. And the time between them is this guy, clip duration. So if I make this 8 seconds or 10 seconds, notice how much slower it got because it's taking 10 seconds to go from point A to point B, okay? You can add as many points as you want, but the point is you can control how long the whole clip is, okay? So this is super powerful. And what I recommend is, you see these guys over here, ease out linear and ease out smooth. You see what's happening towards the end? You see how it's beginning to slow down? That's not great, okay? Leave it on linear. If you ever watch any movies, okay, you never see them slow down like that. It doesn't look good. Have it be linear. Trust me, it looks so much better, so much snappier, especially when you stitch these together. So I like this view. I'm gonna save the clip, and this clip gets saved to a master track. So think of the master track as your movie. So let me go here. I'm going to record another one, and let's just do a little pan, right? So I'll go from here. I like my focal length here, and I'll do this. And let's say I just need 6 seconds. I lied. Let's do 8. Let's hit play. And it feels a little slow. I was right. Let's go with 6. Okay, perfect. And I'm gonna hit check mark. So now what's gonna happen, if I go to entire movie and then hit play, you see where it says 1 clip, 2 clip? It's actually showing me where the clips kick in on the whole movie. So I think 10 seconds is too long. We can shorten that, of course. But then it's going to switch to the other one. So I'm like literally making a video or a movie right here at Lumion, which is awesome. So I'm going to go here. Let's record another one. Let's switch to this way. Again, we're kind of like mimicking our renderings. Okay. And the duration, let's keep it around 6. Another good rule of thumb, I like to keep all the clips around the same length. So I already had this set as a different length. I can go right here to edit clip, and now I'm back here. Okay, that's 6 seconds. I'm happy with that. Let's go to the first one, edit clip, and let's make that 6 seconds. So again, I keep saying this, but like there's no penalty with Lumion, which I really like. Everything is editable. So we've got this and that. Let's go to the entire movie. And you'll see clip 3 will kick in somewhere around there. I'm going to hit play, and then boom. There we go. And that's the basics of how to just stitch these together. So the other cool part is when we switch to entire movie mode, it's the same thing with your master effects, right? It's the same thing we were talking about before. This is going to be applied to all the different clips, but each clip can have its own effect stack, right? So now I'm in the entire movie. So if I were to go to photo mode and just grab my master stack, I'm going to hit copy, go to movie, entire movie, and now I'm just going to paste this. There we go. All my settings have come over and it's applied to every single clip. Look at that. But if I wanted to, I can have my override on a per clip basis, okay? So per clip, entire movie. Okay, you know you're an entire movie when you see all the clips. And same functionality as photo mode, you can rename the clips as needed. So you can say, zoom in on kitchen pan, and so on. You can also render out each clip. So let's say you want to just focus on one clip, you can render that out with this guy. If you want to render out the whole movie, that's this guy right here, render movie. You click that, and now it's going to ask you, how do you want to render it out? Do you want to render out the entire movie, clips, image sequences, which are just images that you have to stitch together in like Premiere Pro or After Effects, and then current frame. Current frame is literally just a rendering. So when it comes to rendering in Lumion, okay, the render times are really bad. Just to be honest, I find it takes so long to actually render out animation. So if you don't believe me, my last video I actually did quarterly quality because it was taking so long. If I were to do half quality, right, at 30 frames per second and full HD, look at the time we're going to see. Let me hit this, and I'm going to save this to my hard drive, and we're going to hit save. So now it's going to warm up before it starts rendering. That's to prevent any weird artifacting, but you're going to see it takes a very long time. This is something you should be charging your clients as a premium, okay? So it just started, and it says 7 hours, okay? So I'm going to pause this. Okay. So I paused it because we're not going to wait 7 hours. But let's talk about what's happening here. You see how it says frame 1 of 541? Where is this coming from? Basically, I wanted the video to be 30 frames per second, okay? One frame, think of it as one image, 30 frames per second. So for 1 second, it needs to generate 30 renderings. Okay, so 541 divided by 30. So 541 divided by 30. That's 18 seconds of clips, okay? So that's what that is. So just to create 18 seconds of content, it's going to be over 7 hours of rendering. And that's at 3-star quality. So that's kind of what I was talking about. Obviously, this is an amazing thing to offer your clients. I'm not saying it's not, but definitely budget in the time and the cost to render this out, especially, at this quality, right? This was half quality. And this was full HD. Let's say this is something that's going to be like on a huge projector. You're probably going to want 4K or above. This is just going to quadruple your render time. Okay, so be aware of that. But overall, I think, the animations that come out of Lumion are phenomenal. Some things I do to kind of cheat is I'll switch it to 25 frames per second. I'll save, if one image takes me 1 minute, I'm saving 5 minutes for each second of footage, if that makes sense. The other thing I do is whenever I'm working with a client and I don't want to spend the whole weekend rendering, I'll do a smaller version between these two and I'll lower the quality and I'll just do like a clay mode in Lumion. That way they could just approve that and just see oh, does this look okay before moving forward? Because you don't want to do final quality, spend 24 hours rendering and they change their mind. So be careful about that, have them approved before you're doing that. But I think these are great in general to have. So now what I want to do is I just want to add a couple more scenes, and then I want to render out my exterior project as well. And then I'm going to stitch them all together in Premiere so we can see the final product. So that's the overview of how to create an animation. As you can see, it's not difficult, super intuitive with Lumion. You just need to remember, you want to make sure your keyframes aren't too far away from each other and not too close. Otherwise, you get really slow videos. Watch this. If that's too close, see how long it takes 4 seconds to just go 3 feet. So pay attention to that. If you ever have an issue where your thumbnail, where the hotspot you set isn't what you wanted it to be and you want to change your mind, just make sure you click it, move the camera position. Let me just save this. And then hit update, and that will move it. So now it's going to be super quick because it's 4 seconds to go there. So you've got that as an option. So what I recommend for you, create a bunch of different views, do some slow zooms and pans. Generally in ArchiViz, that's what we're doing, pans and zooms, and do it for your interior and exterior. And what I'm going to do is hop into the exterior project, take a couple scenes there, we'll export them out together, and I will show you the completed project. So what I'm going to do is save this.